Welcome, Dr. James Beckett, Sports Card Insights, short weekend episode just to catch up. Usually I deal with, frequently I deal with listener questions, and today is not that, but it's something that came up from an interaction I had with somebody in the other part of my life that doesn't involve the hobby. And so I'll deal with that. But first, thanks sponsors, Topps Panini Upper Deck, Heritage Auctions, Huggins & Scott Auctions, Burbank Sports Cards, Mike Stadium Sports Cards, Beckett Media, Beckett Grading, Beckett Authentication, and ComC.com. The topic is SMART goals, and I chose the sponsors that I have because I, in many cases, respected the company or the person and or both, and thought these are quality companies. Well, if you're an achiever as a person or as a company, most companies that are successful because they're meeting their goals. Now, when pandemics occur, you may have to recalibrate your goals, but it's just good to have goals. And so there's a management philosophy, and books have been written about SMART goals, S-M-A-R-T goals. And it just was interesting to me as that came up in another conversation that doesn't always apply in the collecting mindset. You know, as what makes you a smart collector may not be the same as being a smart business person or having SMART goals. So the S in SMART is for specific. And I think that in this industry, it's hard to be specific. You could be specific in your collecting and personal collection goals, but it's hard. I've mentioned that it's hard for me to be focused now and to be specific. I can't really write down what I'm looking for. And so that'd be a tough way to run a business. But for me, being retired, and for you who perhaps are doing this as a hobby, it's less stress. So it's good to be specific, but if you're not, you can still enjoy the hobby. The M in SMART is measurable. This is a hobby that has plenty of opportunities for measurables. Certainly with the whole Beckett Publications company from back in the day, we were measuring, we were looking at metrics. We were tracking the prices and values of cards. So that's one of the fun things about the industry, and you can enjoy it without that. But it's kind of fun to see that your portfolio or your collection is growing in value. So to have goals and to be able to measure how you're doing is a good thing. A in SMART is attainable. Realistically attainable. If you were in a company and they had goals that were not attainable, it could be frustrating for the employees, for the team. When we had our company, I think we had specific and measurable and attainable goals. But as I said, we really were trying to go in the right direction and let the results take care of themselves. So I don't really have an attainable goal. I know I had a friend that I won't mention his name, but his goal was to get all the cards. Well, that's not attainable. Or to get one of every card. Even that is not attainable. Not one of every card of a certain player, not including one of ones or some other thing. There's different ways to make your goal attainable. Again, I don't have an attainable goal, but it's not frustrating me. So, like I say, in business, it might be frustrating. As a collector, it doesn't. The R in SMART is S-M-A-R. R is for relevant. Okay. Well, any goal that I would have would be relevant when we're talking about the hobby, the industry, sports card collecting. So it's relevant to me. It doesn't have to be relevant to somebody else, but my goals that I have for my personal collection are what is relevant to me. Obviously in the company, if we had goals that weren't relevant, it's hard to get compliance or buy-in or to get the team excited about something that's not relevant. We did do some non-sport kinds of things in the late 90s. We moved into that. And again, that was relevant in the sense that it was, again, card collecting was what kids and adults were doing entertainment collectibles, not just sports cards and sports collectibles. And then the T is time bound. And again, I kind of do have a time bound goal now that I really want to have less cards each year. Many of the listeners are going to be younger than me, and your time-bound goal might be to complete a set by the end of the year, or to get a certain number of certain players' cards between now and sometime. It's a way of lighting a fire under you. Again, it's nothing wrong with this business philosophy of having goals that are SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. I mean, you could look that up; it's been written about. But if it's not time-bound, then you don't. It's hard to keep score. You can't say, "Hey, this is our goal." And again, so much of sports is season-based, and with the pandemic, what's being called into question is what is a season? So, but clearly there's goals that players have for their career, but they also have goals for this year or this game. So a time-bound goal is smart. So those are all reasonable things to do. As I said, when I was involved in helping run a company, those were absolutely smart and excellent things to be doing. Now that I'm a hobbyist and I'm semi-retired, that sounds like making a hobby that is fun too business-like. So I encourage you to look at consider your goals, but I also encourage you to consider the fact that this is a hobby and it's intended to be fun. And even without goals, it's a lot of fun. So thanks, listeners. Thanks for your questions. And I'll be back again on Monday with another episode.